Democratic ranking member of the Senate Intel Committee, Mark Warner, reportedly joking to donors about revealing sensitive information on the Russia probe, saying, quote, "If you get me one more glass of wine, I'll tell you stuff only Bob Mueller and I know. If you think you've seen wild stuff so far, buckle up. It's going to be a wild couple of months." So does he know something that we don't? Here now, Jonathan Swan, national political reporter for Axios. Jonathan, good evening. Great to have you here tonight. What about that comment by Mark Warner?
Well, jokes aside, he knows actually probably very little compared to Bob Mueller. If you look at the hierarchy of what people know, it's not a secret that the congressional committees don't have anything near the powers that Bob Mueller has. And even people on the committee have joked to me that they don't know probably 50% of what Bob Mueller knows. So there's probably very few things that just him and Bob Mueller know, because Mueller knows a lot more than Mark Warner.
So how significant is Peter Strzok and having him in front of the committee on Wednesday? I mean, obviously, this is a huge development.
Yeah.
He has said he is willing to come, so we assume he is willing to answer their questions.
I think it's going to be one of the most politically explosive hearings, certainly of the year, perhaps of the last couple of years. We have a lot of members who are deeply engaged on this issue. People like Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows, they're going to be very well prepared, very aggressive in their questioning. Trey Gowdy, even Trey Gowdy, who's been much more moderate, generally speaking, is outraged by this issue. So he's going to come under intense questioning. And look, there's a lot of material to work with.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Trey Gowdy has been very respectful of Robert Mueller and his process. He hasn't wanted to criticize that in any way. But he has, when he saw that IG report, he was quite clear that he was horrified by the way that this high-level FBI agent was talking about the cases that he was covered. Here's a quote from Cheryl Atkinson, who wrote a column about it in The Hill today, entitled, "What Did Peter Strzok Do?" And she writes, "The earth-shattering finding on Strzok confirms the citizenry's worst fears. A high-ranking government intel official allegedly conspired to affect the outcome of a U.S. presidential election. And here's the chilling part. If it weren't for the IG's investigation requested by Congress, he would likely still be helping lead the special counsel's investigation of Trump today." Your thoughts on that, Jonathan?
Well, any fair reading of that report, a reader who's not colored by partisan objectives, if you just read that report with intellectual honesty, you will find things in there that he has said privately that are disturbing, that you don't want to see in a senior investigator. I challenge anyone to say that, with a fair reading of that report, that everything is fine. That being said, there is no evidence that the missing piece is what actions he took as an investigator to put his thumb on the scale, because it's clear. It's clear where his mind was. It's clear what he wanted to happen. The missing piece is the action.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's familiar with the text messages. We can put them up on the screen. The one where he said, he said, "Trump's never going to become president, right? Right?" And the response from Page, no, he's not. We will stop it. Actually, it's the other way around.
Strzok
was answering that. And then the one that we saw a long time ago, I want to believe in the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way he gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event that you die before you're 40. So, the question is, how did he act on that? And the Inspector General found that he could not draw a straight line between those comments and the action that the FBI took. But I think one of the interesting things, Jonathan, is going to be the questions that go around, how did you treat the two investigations differently? Because he was central in the Hillary email investigation, as well as being central in the Trump-Russia investigation, and the treatment appears to be very different.
Yes, but different in a way, certainly during the campaign season, that actually was advantageous to Donald Trump. I mean, we didn't know that Donald Trump's campaign was under investigation during the campaign. We sure knew about the Hillary Clinton investigation. So that's the other piece where there's a missing link.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the way that Hillary's people were investigated and discussed, and the fact that they, began putting together the report on her being not guilty a long time before they even spoke with her, I mean, those kinds of things were very different in terms of the way they were handled. I would imagine you're going to get questions asking him to draw him out on that issue.
There's no question about that.
Yeah. All right, Jonathan, thank you very much. Always good to see you.
Thank you.